the time.
Forever? Tangent. Hold.
Halt.
Hashtag always MGM.
You are approaching the unloading
Everybody
area.
calm down. AK haters.
But what if it could?
Behold the
Disney
majesty of the
breeze.
Sistine Ceiling.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
What a cute ending.
Aloha and
Don't Dillo it.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are here in the month of May. It is an epic month, as it were.
Yes.
It is technically, what is the date today? It is May the 10th. Is that correct?
The 10th?
Here on the podcast
Eighth?
episode.
The 8th?
Oh, yeah, it's the 8th. I'm 2 days ahead. It's May the 8th?
May the 8th? Uh-huh.
What is this? When are we going to stop recording in advance? What happened to the 2 days before?
Right. At some point, we have to catch up. I feel like we did have a little bit for the trip reports. We technically had a wait. We knew they were going to happen, but then we didn't record them until 2 days before, which is still planning. So I'm not sure when the planning portion stops because I feel like we still have ideas for June. Don't we?
That's true. We do.
Right.
Well, we have a guest with us today here at DillosDizResort.com. Of course, that is our Patreon with memberships beginning as low as $1 per month. DillosDizResort.com. Though you could join for free just so you get all the updates of what is happening in Jen and I's life. But the month of May, we're focused very much on Epic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the first time, I think, in the history of our podcast that a theme park, a new park, as it were.
Yeah.
I'm not counting Volcano Bay. Don't get me started with the three parks Universal has already. That we have a full theme park opening in Central Florida.
I think so.
Yeah.
Right.
It sounds right.
And also, this podcast has always been a salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World. We haven't said that in a while because we haven't done anything in a while. So now we're showing that side of us.
To all theme parks.
Right.
All the theme parks
all of them
are included. So we have been focusing on Epic Universe. Last week on May the 3rd, we had OPP, Operating Participant Paul, even though the people at the resort are going to experience that recording the day after this one.
Correct.
We make sense of it. We can't even do this normal.
That's also the May 1st episode. The May 1st.
What did I say? May 3rd?
It's because you have the 3rd and 10th in your head.
So to recap, May 1st.
Correct.
OPP.
Yes.
Today, here, this episode, as it's dropping, as you're listening to the audio, May the 10th.
Correct.
This is too much.
The chat is making me laugh. I'm gonna have to ignore it probably tonight. As a disclaimer,
Yes.
our guest this evening is dealing with a background chirping noise. So don't pull over your cars. Don't take off your headphones at home. It's okay. It's just part of this episode. It's going to be like our ambiance. Maybe it'll remind you of the birds that are in Disney, like the seagulls in the morning.
Yeah, it's going to be an immersive experience for you where you think you're listening to a podcast, but really you're chasing around the sound in your home. So this guest, it could be the only guest that would have this issue, I think, as we are recording. It goes without saying that every episode that we have this guest on always brings something different. And this time it's for sure. I mean, I don't know what it. I'm just going to apologize in advance. It's going to be an epic episode talking about Epic Universe, and he will wait no longer for this introduction. Here he is. It's Adam. Adam, hello.
Hi guys.
Hi Adam. How are you?
Good. I didn't realize we were talking about Epic. I thought we were talking about Busch Gardens. I was all prepared for that too. Guess I gotta throw those notes away.
Adam, have you been to Busch Gardens, Tampa?
Tampa, no, I haven't.
Have you been to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg?
Williamsburg, like 20 years ago, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember much of it.
Have you been to
Colonial
Williamsburg?
Yes, yeah, it was on that trip. Yeah.
Have you churned butter at Colonial Williamsburg?
I don't think we did butter. It was summer. It was really hot.
Is somebody counting the
cover?
curves? We're going to need a counter.
We're going to need a counter. That was
So
one.
yeah, do apologize for that. I'm used to it, so I'm serious. I don't hear them.
I get it. Listen, Mom and Papa Dillo live with the railroad, the Long Island Railroad, going through their backyard.
Uh-huh.
When new people enter our home over the years, they're like, "What is that? We don't know. What do you mean?" Oh, and it was a train going by, but we are just used to it. So I get it, Adam. I get it.
Yeah, like I really don't hear it.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it sounds like the chat is saying it's every 30 seconds. Oh, I think I just heard it there. The chat is saying it's every 30 seconds, which I didn't realize it was that often.
I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do this whole episode, but I want to take you to task early on in the episode. I have something to bring up early in the podcast, and I need to bring up something at the end of this podcast. I hope I remember at the end of the podcast what that other thing is. Adam, in December, you reached out to Jen and you said in the first quarter of 2025, which constitutes the months of January, February, and March, you wanted the three of us to get together. Jen, you have not met.
No.
Me, you have met twice.
Twice? Wait, what? Twice?
Once in at hashtag always MGM and once in the workplace.
Oh.
Though Adam did not get the tour. He just got an experience.
What? Why didn't he get a tour?
Because there was a performance going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he was just at the performance.
He was just at the performance.
I see.
He was just there. I met his lovely mother.
Oh, what? Adam.
And we were
you met Mama Dillo.
Family before I even get to meet you?
Yeah. Things are getting serious, Jen. You're getting jealous,
right? What's that about?
I got introduced to his mom, and then we were Adam and we were supposed to go out after, and then Adam went home.
Oh.
Well, I went home because my mother was tired and wanted to go home, and I gave her a look, like the look that she gives me every so often. I gave her that look back. I was like, "Really? You're tired? After all this I did for you?" So I told Frank, I says, "Frank, I owe you dinner at some point in the future." And then I was hoping to see you guys at some point, but it just got busy and it didn't happen.
Right. So when we were discussing our meeting, you were like, "Do you mind if Frank comes too? I owe him a dinner." I was like, "Adam, I don't care how we meet. Frank's allowed to be there. That's fine. When is this happening?" And then we started looking at March, and you were like, "What about March? Except the first 2 weekends and the last weekend." And then that was squashed. I think the only free weekends that may have worked was when we did our 24 hours in Disney, which I did DM you that weekend going, "Are you in Disney secretly?" Because I was hoping maybe it could just happen organically like that.
Oh. Yeah, and I wasn't.
No.
We weren't. Because little did we know, like you do, the only people more secretive about us when we're like doing trips and waiting to the last minute to reveal everything is you, Adam.
Correct.
You are the one that is don't tell anybody what's going on, and suddenly you appear in Orlando.
Yeah.
I know.
Like this.
Oh, what's going on here? Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's cool. You can do that?
We can share our screen, Adam.
I didn't know you could do that.
We can share photos of you.
So your Epic Day is what we're going to talk about because you were at Epic Universe.
Yes.
A couple of weeks back. Well, maybe a month ago now, since it's the month of May. It's May 8th and not May 10th.
Seems like it was eons ago.
Yeah, maybe on May 8th, Adam's fire smoke alarm will be restored. We don't know. But
it won't.
You were there, Adam. And first I want to say, I know you're going to explain why you were there and how you got there, because this was the first weekend that video and photography was finally allowed in the park because people were getting fired left and right up until that point.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, correct. It's allegedly. I talk loudly over that last beep, so it's totally fine. And so it was that first weekend that all
the first
of that was
day.
allowed. What's
first
that?
Day. It was the first day.
Adam, just explain what, because I don't understand. I don't understand how you were there and why you got there, hugging all the big content creators that we know and love over the years. Yeah. And just explain that whole thing, please.
Yeah. So basically, I am the CEO of Comcast. Surprise.
Surprise.
And,
I own everything.
So It's all my stuff. No, so my company my company is a construction company, and we work up in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. We also work in Florida, and we got a job working at Epic Universe, specifically in Super Nintendo World. So we've been working there for like over 2 years. So it's the biggest job we've ever had. And I got to go in September to do a hard hat construction tour of the park.
Oh.
And then when I was talking to the project manager, I was like, I think they're going to do like preview days for like the contractors, because they usually do that for these things. And he's like, yeah, I'll get you on the list if that happens. So every like couple of weeks, I'd like ask him like, hey, did they tell you when they're going to do this? He's like, no, not yet, not yet. And then finally, like we find out previews are starting. And the previews started in February for team members, but it wasn't the previews that they're doing like now, where they're team members bringing family. It was just like them having team members test rides. It was very primitive. And then so that was late February, and then I asked him, I was like, okay, so what do you think is going to happen for previews for us contractors? And he's like, well, I heard like end of March, but they keep delaying everything. So things were just getting delayed because it was getting delayed because the park wasn't ready for like massive amounts of people to be in there. Fast forward, and like a couple of days before I was there on a Saturday, and a couple of days before that, the project manager emails me and he's like, hey, I have an extra spot. Somebody can't go. That's in Florida. Do you want it? I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So I took it.
Nice.
And I went on Saturday, which was it was April 4th, I think, was that Saturday, or the 5th?
Yeah.
And it happened to also be the media preview day. So all of the people that you all follow online about media stuff was also there. And it was the first day that you could post whatever photos and videos you took in the park. So I just kind of like was a perfect storm, I guess.
Yeah, we weren't sure if, you had a new announcement that we didn't know about, Adam.
No.
That we're like, what's happening? Two follow-ups. One, Mario, Nintendo Land, personally in this household is the thing that everyone's most excited for. So extra exciting that was your land, Adam.
Yes.
Now I feel like, I got some street cred. Second, are you able to tell us anything else your company has worked on in the theme parks before, or are we not allowed to?
No, I could say it. We built the cottage, the cottage in Seven Dwarfs Mine Train that Snow White dances around in.
That's cool.
We built the Connections and Creations Cafe in Epcot. We've done a lot of stuff with resorts, like the when Grand Flow redid Gasparilla Grill. Is that what the service is called? We did that.
You owe us a beam from the Polynesian lobby when we took down the top of the Great Ceremonial.
Oh, the Great Ceremonial! I don't think we've done anything at the. No, I'm sorry. We did. We did DVC rooms. We've done DVC room redo. This is like 10 years ago. We did them.
But this is why we yell at you and post pictures of us angry on the Polynesian steps, because we don't want you going near the Polynesian steps.
That's true. That's true. And then we get bids for things that we don't get jobs for. So I see the bids that come in, and like we had bid for the Kona Cafe redo, and they did that. We bid on I had the plans for Guardians of the Galaxy and Tron when that was getting built. I've seen the plans for Encanto.
Oh, interesting.
That looks interesting.
Adam, just real quick, Adam, is the business? I mean, I know where you are, obviously in the tri-state area here. Is it a local business that deals with national clients, or do you have offices across the country? That's something I've always wanted to ask you.
No, we're local. So we have our office in New Jersey, and then we do have 2 offices in Florida.
Okay,
interesting.
Yeah.
And did it just work out that like these Disney accounts have come your way. I mean, like for a Disney lover like yourself, that it seems like a perfect
No,
connection.
I know it's a. I mean, because they've been working for Disney since before I started.
Mm.
I've been there 11 years, and they've been doing Disney stuff before. They like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train that was done before I started because
Okay.
that ride's 15 years old by now.
Right.
Oh my gosh,
That's great.
time flies.
Yeah.
And it just kind of like happened that way.
Mm.
So it's kind of
Interesting.
strange how things work out, I guess.
Yeah. Interesting.
And just the other thing I wanted to make a mention of in terms of you never went to a Universal Park until a couple of years ago. Is that correct?
No, we did go when I was like 13 or 14. We went over Christmas break and we did like probably 2 days at Universal. This is like 2003, 2004.
The mid 2000s.
But I don't really remember that trip, to be quite honest. So
I
my
don't
first like vivid memories are just from a day trip I took 3 years ago, I guess.
Have we discussed if you could have run into either Frank or I on those early trips of yours back in the day?
Oh, I'm sure I ran into him. I know I ran into him. I definitely literally ran
Literally
into
ran into
a
him.
friend of Frank
Right.
that Frank was franking, and and I think it happened for sure. And we definitely have run into each other in New York, Long Island, and that kind of stuff. We
Sure.
definitely have.
Of course, getting a
You
bagel.
probably cut me off on the LIE, and I probably did the same to you once. So
I probably see you plenty, especially as I travel back and forth to New Jersey.
Yeah.
I don't know where I am in New Jersey. You know how that is. So
I know.
I'm like,
It's
I don't
okay.
know where I am, Adam.
I think you are literally like very close to where I am.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I
Alright,
believe so.
We'll talk about it offline. But also, if you were there in the mid 2000s, like in the 2004 to 2006, hanging out at Epcot, what if you ran into me, Adam?
I don't know because I don't ever remember doing interventions, and I know that sounds terrible to say, but like that was something that we never really got into.
No House of the Future for you?
No, I like never saw that stuff, and I don't know why. It just I guess because there was no ride in there, we just kind of like went for the rides.
I mean,
that's my guess.
All right, well let's get into it because I know on the back end we're going to talk about the Muppets for a while. So, Adam, you go in. What are you looking forward to when you're going to the park? Is it just looking forward to seeing your work, or is there some of the IPs that you're like, this I really want to see?
Well, it was for sure seeing the stuff I worked on because, like I said before, I was on a hard hat tour of the construction site. Yeah. So I had like been in the catwalks of Mario Kart ride. I had been above the ride. I had been in the queue of Yoshi when they were painting it. I had seen all this stuff under construction, so I wanted to see what it looked like. Obviously finished. I was really looking forward to the Monsters ride. I think it's called Monsters Unchained or something like that. The ride that's in the, and I do apologize if I don't have the names right because I just don't.
Well, on your post funky. On the X Twitter, you got like Werewolf Coaster, Monsters. It's very official names you have.
It's the malaprops, the Northeast malaprops.
Well, not for nothing. If Universal would give you a paper map, I would have had everything in my hand and I could have typed it all out. But they don't do that. They have it on an app, and we all complain about the Disney app being terrible, and it is. This Universal app is much worse because like there's no layout to anything. They don't have show times for the two stage shows, stage shows that are there in Epic. So it's very like they don't tell you if something's open or closed, and they like the menus are hard. Everything was very hard to understand. I understand the park's not really open yet, but if you're not going to give out any paper information to anybody, and your only source of any communication is the app, it's got to do better than that, right? Yeah. So.
Was that always a thing, Frank, for your VIP tours? Did you not have a paper map ever?
No, they just went away in the last couple of years.
Oh.
I think that's a post 2020 cutbacks.
I always laugh when you do that when I'm listening. And then
So
I was looking forward to the Harry Potter ride, but spoiler alert, I didn't get to go on it. So
that stinks.
What is your level of Harry Potter enjoyment? Like, 'cause since you've only been to the other parks minimally since they've been open, were you looking forward to the whole area? Were you like, is it something? Are you a Harry Potter fan, Adam? I don't know about you.
yeah, I am. I've never read the books. I have not watched the last two movies. I've seen all the other movies. It just was never my thing growing up. I never got into it. I certainly have not seen the Fantastic Beast movie, which is what this new area is about. So I don't know what's going on with that. I've never seen any of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I never played. It's a lot of have-nots. I never played Nintendo growing up. We didn't have video game consoles, so I never got into that. And the monsters are like, I never got into anything scary. And I know who Frankenstein is and Dracula. I know who they are, but those movies are 100 years old, and I have not seen them. And then the newer versions of them, I just never got into. So none of these properties or anything I cared about.
Yeah. Got it. Because that's always my debate with going to Universal, is that not really into Harry Potter in the house, whether that'll come or not. I have no idea. And anything else doesn't draw me that much to Universal as is. Now, Nintendo stuff does draw me to Epic a little bit. We did see the first How to Train Your Dragon movie. I don't know. Is it the first? I guess. How many have there been? The animated one we saw.
Three, I think. Yeah.
Three.
We're looking forward to the live action. That looks really cute. So, that could be interesting. We're not going to go around anything scary. And so, there's like the debate. If I were to go to Universal anytime soon, which, I kind of debate Epic a little bit just to check it out, it would probably be like, all right, one day in Epic, and I'm good. I'm good with Universal for a while until something really draws me in. I mean, we just as a side tangent, the 10-year-old heard about, I think we had talked about it a little bit, but someone else at school must have been talking about Nintendo Land, and he was like, I want to go for my birthday. And then all of a sudden recently he's like, I don't want to go to Epic anymore. I'm like, why not? He's like, I don't want it to take away from Disney. I'm like, God, that Dillo DNA is just so strong sometimes, where he's like, I don't want it to take away, though. If I have a choice between Disney and something new, I'm not going to choose something new. I'm going to stick with Disney. But yeah, I don't know that. But it is interesting, like what draws people in and what doesn't. And I also get how all of those portals can draw in so many different people, especially the horror stuff, because you tie it to Halloween Horror Nights and also just old classics overall. I mean, I get all of that, but yeah.
Were you able, Adam, since you didn't have the connection, was there something that stood out to you more than the rest that you were like, oh, this makes me want to? Because here's the thing, with I wasn't that much into Harry Potter 2, saw the movies, read a couple of the books way back in the day. But then my first visit to Harry Potter, was so, you know what it is. So it's so amazing to be in it. And I know Troy from Disney Assembled is here in the chat, and I know he feels similarly about the IP, but it makes you want to know more about what's around you. Is there anything jump right out of the gate that, because of the park, made you go, I want to know more about this?
It's a good question. That's it's a really good question. I mean, I should watch the How to Train Your Dragon movies because people like them, and there's a live action one coming out, and there's 3 of them. I should watch them, but coming out of that, I really didn't have it. Like, I don't need to watch them. I forgot Harry Potter for a second. I guess I think that for me, maybe I'm jumping ahead here, but the Nintendo world, Super Nintendo World, is, I think, the best themed land in terms of like feeling like you're in another place. And I did feel like I was in those video games, and I think a lot of it is because of the noise that was going on. There's a lot of activity. There's all whatever that sound is that they make when they hit the box where they get the coins. Like that noise and stuff is happening all over the place. And And
Is it like a chirp on a smoke alarm, or
yeah,
is
it's kind of like that. Yeah, kind of like
Similar.
that. And plus there's the Donkey Kong area attached to it, which is very like good placemaking and such. So I'm not I might sound biased because like my company worked on it, but like I didn't work on it. I'm an accountant. I don't touch it. I don't do the heavy lifting. So it doesn't really matter to me. But I did feel like the Nintendo like certainly got me more into like that into like the problem with the Nintendo though is that like the way to experience Nintendo is to do the video games, which I don't have, and I don't really have a desire to buy any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen the movie, and I like the movie, and I guess I'll maybe want to watch the movie again, the one that came out last year, right?
Yeah.
The Mario movie. So I would like probably want to see that again for sure, and that. I don't want to like spoil like I don't want to get too much ahead, so I'll let you. Well, we can come back to something else later. But
Adam, your show, Adam.
It's not my show. It's your show. It's Dillo's Diz. It's not waiting for Adam.com.
I mean,
what if it could?
Isn't it time that we get a Waiting for Adam podcast? I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, you keep waiting for it though.
That's the whole idea. Coming soon, the Waiting for Adam podcast, and like people just continue to wait.
Yeah, I think to answer your question, I think Super Nintendo World gave me the most like feelings of like this is interesting. I'd like to like see more of this.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
What did you? I'll come back to the parks in a second. But what did you do before? Like, did you stay at the hotel or did the resort, or were you staying somewhere else?
No, I stayed off-site at Flamingo Crossing, which is one of my go-tos. That's near Animal Kingdom. And then I was talking to. It was so last minute, I didn't have much time to think, but like I was talking to my boss who also went, and he booked a room at one of the new ones, Stella Nova or Terra, whatever one. And he paid the same amount of money I paid for my room. And I was like, I didn't even think about staying there. Like, I just assumed it was like booked or whatever. And like, I didn't even think about that. So I just stayed at the Town Place Suites. I stayed at.
With the portals going to each area, so they got that Celestial Park there as the hub in the front.
Yeah.
And then it's different islands of adventure. You got to take a country road to go. It's a long journey to get to like Jurassic Park. So they obviously learned that lesson and went to the hub and spoke technique. Do you think this is beneficial? Is it or how was the entry?
How honest do you want me to be with this?
Adam, I know what kind of road we're going down here. So you tell me.
So couple things. Number one, there's not a lot of shade in Celestial Park. It is, and I was there. It was early April. It was unseasonably warm for April. It was like 92 degrees. But guess what? It's going to be 92 degrees every day in the next couple months. So get used to it. There's no shade there. The trees that they planted are too young and they have not grown in yet. And honestly, I don't know if they planted enough because I was looking, I'm like, there aren't really as many trees as there probably should be that are eventually going to hopefully provide shade. So it is because Celestial Park has two rides in it. It's got the carousel, which I did not go on. The carousel is covered, which is good. So that's protected from your elements. And then there's the coaster called Stardust Racers, and it's got two sides to it, and they almost mirror each other. But there are no other rides there. There are restaurants there, but the way I look at it is, and what was happening with me was, if I was crisscrossing from one land or portal to another, I wasn't stopping in Celestial Park. There was no reason for me to stop there. So it's kind of just more of like a walking path. And because it's really hot in the middle there, you're really not taking your time to walk through there because you want to get to the shade. It reminds me of World Showcase in that they've got this big circular fountain that does fountain performances, and that's synced up with lights and music, and which is nice. But it's not like World Showcase in that World Showcase, all of your areas as a guest to enjoy the country pavilions are all open to the walkway around the lagoon. Whereas Celestial Park, everything is behind a wall, it's behind a portal. So there's no activity going on in front of those areas. I mean, there are like people taking pictures, but that doesn't last long. There's no activity going on there. There's no there's hardly any food things there. There are indoor seated restaurants, but like how Epcot has outdoor carts and food stands for like the festivals and such, Celestial Park doesn't really have that. So there isn't much activity going on there during the day. So it's kind of like, and there's a lot of concrete. There's no shade. It's kind of like, I don't want to say barren, but it's kind of like it's barren, that there isn't much going on there between the two, unless if you're like making a beeline for the coaster. But the coaster is so far set back, the entrance and the queue especially, you don't even realize that it's hard to find the line for that coaster when you're walking around it. You really kind of have to search for it. So the design looks nice. It's just, it's in summertime, it's going to be hard. And then when it's raining, a thunderstorm, it's going to be hard because you don't have any cover for you. So unless if you're sitting at a restaurant.
Is it meant to be like, I mean, is it, because I don't know enough, is it its own portal? Is it meant to be the thing that connects all the portals? Like, is it a central?
I think it's meant to be like a, I mean, they call it's like the fifth land.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to give it the same gravitas as the other four are.
Right.
But I do think it's definitely like a transition point, because there isn't one IP theme. It's just kind of like space and celestial things, and that's fine. I think the fact that it's not tied to anything, I think, is fine. I just, because the four major things are all behind a wall, there isn't going to be much activity. I don't think there's going to be much activity in the middle there if there isn't shade and if there isn't more outdoor things for people to want to do and to congregate for.
Yeah. Having you personally, with your own hammer, built that land, Adam, do all the portals have multiple levels, or is that the only one? Because I did see the escalator, and I did find that interesting that there was an escalator with a portal. Yeah.
Nintendo has levels. Harry Potter does not. Isle of Berk is kind of reminds me of like a boardwalk. There's a central lagoon where they have like the Viking statues in the water. There's like a boardwalk that kind of goes around it, but there's a boat ride in Isle of Berk, which is the How to Train Your Dragon land, that you do have to go down like a ramp to get to. So that kind of has levels. It's not the same effect that Nintendo has. Nintendo is the levels, I guess it's supposed to look like the ride or the game, how there would be different levels when Mario would like jump up and down, right? I think that's the effect you're going for.
Okay.
And then Dark Universe does not have that at all. No, Dark Universe is just one flat area. Yeah.
Is there something? I feel like my questions are setting you up to be negative, and I don't mean it to be that way. Was there an attraction? I'm gonna leave the emotional connectivity out of it. Something that you experienced that you're like, man, this is something Disney could only dream of doing, or this would be something awesome for Disney to level up to.
That's a good question. Donkey Kong was the most fun I had, because it's a roller coaster, but it's not a roller coaster. And it's deceiving when you're riding it and what it is and what you're doing. And it's most fun. I was smiling most of the time. When I talked to one of the media guys afterwards, he's like, yeah, that ride, I was smiling the whole time. That was like the most fun I had. And there's a lot of robots to look at. There's a lot of scenery to look at. So that's like, if I could see like Disney building a ride of any of the rides, it would probably be a Donkey Kong that because of what they did with the track and how they make it like a scene like you're jumping track and you're jumping water.
Mhm.
That's really got like extra stuff going on to it. That's really good.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I feel like I've seen a little bit of video of that. Looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the areas. See, to me, and I've said it, and I'm sure I've said it on podcasts leading up to this podcast. You know, I lived through the Islands of Adventure time, and so the idea of a Marvel universe and Doctor Seuss Land and Jurassic Park, like all those things at the time, were like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing, and thrill rides and all of that. So you know, similar to me, right? You have Nintendo, you have Harry Potter. I feel like it's its own thing, but even Isle of Berk, like I've only seen the first movie. I love the first movie. Why do I love the first movie? I really love the soundtrack. The soundtrack is like one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and so like I'm excited for that. I think as we wrap up this portion of the conversation here, you know, I ask you these questions knowing knowing you're not really connected, but do you feel concerned about other people making repeat visits to this park, especially that it's so like it's a little disconnected to the other two parks? Do you think they'll struggle in a year or two because of what you felt? Do you think there's other people like you out there in the world, Adam?
I think I'd like to think I'm unique, Frank. Right? That's a good. I guess the Monsters ride. There's a lot to look at. So if you only ride that once, you might miss some things. So that's certainly a ride that you would probably want to repeat. Mm-hmm. Mario Kart has a connectivity element. That's not the word. What's the word I'm thinking of? A play element where you're firing the shells at the other Mario Kart cars and track. You could certainly repeat that. Mm-hmm. I did not get to ride the Ministry of Magic ride. That was closed when I was there. For what I've been told, people love that ride, so I'm sure that's another one you're going to want to go back. And then I didn't get to do the 2 shows. There's 2 stage shows. There's a show for Harry Potter, and there's a show at How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm sure like those are going to have some repeatability because like any live theater, there's always changes every time you see it. Yeah. Other than those, roller coaster is a roller coaster. That doesn't change much when you do it, unless if you're like into getting you like getting thrown around like that. Mm-hmm. I would hope that they're gonna like as the time goes on, landscape grows in more and it starts to cover up some things, because I had some issues with sight lines, as people call it, because that's something I notice about these things. And I would think people would want to go back after they've been it. It's there's a lot of big heavy rides in this park that if you don't have like express pass, if you're waiting in line, you might not even be able to get to everything all day. So I would think people are going to want to like come back afterwards and again and again to try it.
Yeah, I mean it does it. I think the distance piques my interest because I want to know. I feel like I haven't read enough as of this mid-April recording of what people's experience was like to commute to the park on that day and what that felt like. I want to know more about that, and I want to know more about whether, because I think that's Islands of Adventure struggled with that too. I mean, for a variety of reasons. You open a park and 2 years later it's 9/11. I think that hurt, but I think the overall was you go through it once and the attractions are great, but is it at the time Islands of Adventure is like, I want to do Hulk, I want to do Spider-Man, I want to do maybe you want to do the River Adventure. The other stuff was fair game, I think, you wanted to repeat that. So I wonder about that with Epic a little, and whether they'll have some of the same issues where people want to go to Disney a lot.
Yeah, I've like thought about this like is this going to hurt Disney and is this going to hurt Universal? It's like I think Americans only have so much vacation time that they can take. So are they going to like use an extra PTO day for this? I don't know.
Mhm.
Are they going to not go to Animal Kingdom or Epcot because of this? Possibly, because those parks haven't had something new in a while. And Animal Kingdom, they know that because they're building Encanto and they're building or redoing the dinosaur ride for Indiana Jones. Disney knows that they haven't added anything to that park. That's why they're adding things to it. But I also think it's going to take away, if I had to guess, it's going to take away some business from Universal itself. I mean, that Universal Studios park is old.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the fact that there's a ride for Men in Black, which is not a franchise that has any staying power.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have the they did the Fast and Furious ride, which is closed, and I believe they're closing. That's the rumor anyway. That they have this multi-billion-dollar movie franchise, and the ride that they did on it is like a bus ride. It's just very like they messed up with that. They finally got rid of Shrek, and then they put in that Minions ride, which that isn't necessarily the best thing I've heard. I haven't been on it. But,
no, it's it's whatever. It's a whatever kind of thing. But yeah, they got to close Rip Ride Rocket and put something else there. They're gonna. I mean, they got a lot of work to do in that park.
Yeah, so if I had to guess, it's going to take some attendance away from that. But like the way they're doing the tickets is like the only way to get to Epic is buy like a ticket package where you have to go to Studios and Islands of Adventure, and then like it's not even added to APs yet. And I'm sure it will eventually, and they'll charge for it. But so I don't think it's going to break Disney by any chance. I don't think it's going to break Universal. I think it's just going to make people have to make tougher decisions on how they're going to spend their vacation time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe they've decided about what the AP situation is by the time this podcast drops. But boy, wouldn't it be nice if they said, "Hey, all AP holders currently with an AP, for the remainder of your AP, we're not going to charge you for going to Epic."
Yeah, I don't think they have to do that because like they have like these tickets these preview tickets APs can buy for the preview time. And people are going to buy those because they want to go before it opens.
I know it's happening. Yeah.
And when I was there, it was not that crowded. My preview day was not that crowded. Granted, it was like team member previews with family. It was contractor previews. There was people that worked on the site there, and it was media people. The longest I waited for something was an hour for the Harry Potter show, and they canceled it when I was in the final room to get into the show. So I never actually got to see the show.
Oh man.
And I waited an hour for that.
It's crazy.
And then I waited, I think, like 25 minutes for the Isle of Berk roller coaster, the Flight of Hiccup or something like that. Hiccup's Flight. I'm sorry, I don't remember the name, but it's the coaster that's in Isle of Berk. I waited, I think, 25 minutes for that. They do have a lot of single rider lines, so I did single rider for Mario Kart. I did it for Monsters Unchained. I did it for the Werewolf coaster, and that helped me tremendously to go through that stuff because those lines would have been a lot longer. So, and there was no express option when I was there. The thing I was looking forward to the most was the Monsters ride, and I was disappointed in that ride.
Interesting. It's all right. You can say you're allowed.
You're allowed to have opinions.
It was not what people hyped it up to be, and it was not wasn't really as thrilling as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Well, what about the mac and cheese in a cone? What was that?
That was okay. That was in Isle of Berk. It's like in a bread cone. It needed a little bit more salt in the pasta water for sure. But it was good for what it is. And then I had frozen butterbeer, which I never had, and cold butterbeer, which I never had. I've only had hot butterbeer, and that was good. And then I ate at the Harry Potter like quick service restaurant they have. It's some French name. I don't know what it is. And I had a turkey sandwich, and I had the butterbeer crepe. Butterbeer crepe was good. but I had it was they're testing everything, so I waited like half an hour for food, and I had 15 minutes to eat it because they told me to get on this line for this Harry Potter show orally, and then of course the show never happened. So
Right.
I shoveled food in my mouth for no reason, and they told me they don't give out take-home boxes because I would have taken my turkey sandwich home, but they wouldn't let me.
Interesting.
Which I thought was very strange.
I'm going to tangent because Adam's talking about food and it said pasta water, which got me thinking. We have discussed before the Italian food in Florida overall.
And I have a story about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So not that it's bad, it's just different. And we're trying to figure out, like, what is the difference? What is it about? I mean, you can blame the water and everything and up here, but like, what is it specifically that like it almost has its own distinct taste? Now, when I was talking to Mr. Snidillo, he said he felt like it was all saltier overall. But I feel like now we can just open this conversation to everyone, and Adam, especially you, because you know Italian food, and I'm gonna need to hear that story as well. Go ahead.
You've seen Everybody Loves Raymond.
Of course.
The mother says the difference is love, right? That's the difference.
Yeah. Marie.
I ate at Mama Melrose for the first and last time on this trip.
Yeah.
Oh, first and last.
Yeah, well, because it's closing.
Sure.
Unless if something catastrophic happens.
Well, that was gonna be one of my questions here at the end, Adam. Will you get back to Muppets one more time before?
I will get back to Muppets one more time.
You get a shot.
Right.
I will. But I never been to Mama Melrose, and so I wanted to go. So I went with my friend Corey, and huge restaurant, huge.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that place is big.
Yep.
I was like, it just kept going. I'm like, this is huge, and it was packed. I don't know if it was packed because people want to go because it's closing, or they just wanted to eat, Italian food. I don't know.
Right.
It was packed. I had the chicken parm, which is like their like staple, I guess.
Sure.
And it was fine. It was not like how I would do it, but it was fine. It was why is Disney Italian food different? I think it's just because the water, I'm sure, has something to do with it.
Right.
The water pH, whatever level is different. So it's cooked with water, with bread, and with pasta. It's going to come out different for sure. And not everybody like cooks with the same kind of like seasoning that we do for making gravy. Red sauce.
The gravy.
The gravy. You like the gravy.
But Via Napoli, I think, is excellent pizza. But that's the only thing I would order there. I wouldn't order any other Italian whatever there.
Yeah.
And I've never eaten at like there's that the Italian restaurant in like Swan or Dolphin.
Oh yeah, we ate there.
Yeah.
I've never been there. I just don't like it. I can make all this stuff at home. I'm not gonna spend money on it.
Right.
I only did Mama Melrose because it was closing and I wanted to be there.
Sure, that makes sense. I mean, I think this opens the door to what would you like to say, Adam, about the Muppets?
Oh, what would I like to? Well, it's sad. It's really sad. And I tried everything I could to keep them.
You did, Adam. You had a whole letter writing campaign going.
And I'm still sending out letters because I changed my letter to basically say, like, hey, you guys, you got to do something with this. You got to save it. You got to do something. You got to put it somewhere. But I tried. I feel like I did everything I could without showing up on Bob Barker's door and knocking on it. Like, I guess I could have done that.
Yeah, well, fell short.
If I would have found his address.
Yeah.
No, it's very sad. I think it's a short-sighted decision, especially since and I'm sure we've talked about this 100 million times, especially since they're not even knocking down the theater. Like the coaster is going in a different spot, and then they're going to use the theater to house some show that nobody has talked about yet. And the building looks just like it. They just added teeth marks and such. So you're going to walk up to it and you're going to be like, that's the Muppet Theater. And but it's going to be something else. And And like, are they going to get rid of the car? Like, are they going to change everything inside? Are they
Right.
going to change the carpet? Are they going to change the chairs? You know, everything's going to remind me of that place.
No,
Right.
I don't like it in Disneyland, Adam, in California Adventure, so I'm not gonna like it. Yeah, I'll be extra annoyed there.
If they move it to,
No, if they keep some of the upholstery and whatnot, like you can't do that. I don't want to look at those balconies. I don't
oh
want to,
yeah,
Mhm.
you know.
yeah,
But
no,
do you move
it's
the laugh floor into that space? I know they said it's a different show, but you could just as easily just take the laugh floor and move it over to.
yeah, and I I think that's what they should do. I don't, the sad part about all of this is I love Monsters Inc.
Mhm.
I mean, it's got all of our favorite people in it, John Goodman and Billy Crystal. Like,
Mhm.
we
Yeah,
all love Billy Crystal, do we not?
obviously.
Well, let's see.
And but does Billy Crystal know what he's doing? And he probably doesn't, because I bet you if you told him, "Hey Billy, you know what's going on, right?" He probably would say, "Yeah, we shouldn't do that." I mean,
Right.
Frank Oz is in Monsters Inc. for goodness sake, you
Yeah.
know? Like, so I don't. It's like I said, it's short sighted, and like they better do something with Animation Courtyard.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if they don't,
Mhm.
if they just keep it the way it is for another 10 years because the economy went bad, or
Right.
tariffs or whatever, and
Mhm.
it's like, so they have all these they have these built-in excuses on not doing anything with that
Yeah.
space. It's like, well, you could have just put this thing there, and
Right.
then eventually move on to Muppets if you felt like you needed to do
Right.
something with it. But
Yeah. 2 questions. One, have you written to Billy Crystal?
no, I haven't.
Mm,
I didn't think about that. I
maybe
should
not.
have.
He's a fellow alum of my community college. Maybe.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe that's
Well, there you go. You should.
I
If
haven't
anybody
even.
can email, you probably have his email address in a database
okay.
somewhere.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Probably make that connection. The other thing I was thinking, and I don't know if I've mentioned this in the Discord or said it out loud, or it was just something that I was falling asleep one night and it was haunting me and I thought of it. Do you think it's possible that they kind of, the glorious view when you're walking away from Star Tours, and there's that turn you can make, and you could just see like it all lit up and it looks so nice and whatever, like that area? Do you think that they like wall that up and then open up, because there's that backstage area to the left of Star Tours? Do they then do something with that where like then Star Tours could potentially loop around to Galaxy's Edge? And so there's still kind of a connection if you go that way. Oh wait, but then how do you get to Monsters?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think.
sure how you get to Monsters,
Yeah.
but or you leave that and then wall up another way. I don't know, but I was like, maybe there's still a way to connect them and not get rid of Star Tours, even though I know that's coming next and they're going to
I
ruin everything.
I would say no, because the building for the ride is going to be like
Yeah.
an extension onto the back end of that whole area. So it's just going to push it back even more. Which really, that the other stupid thing about putting this Monsters thing there is that means Galaxy's Edge will never expand, and it's just odd that they would do that to
Yep.
their 8 billion or however much money they spent on
Yeah.
Lucasfilm,
Yeah,
that
that's
they
the
wouldn't
strangest part of the whole thing. Yeah.
why, like, so you're never gonna. So this is it. So we've got, this is the Star Wars land we're gonna get, and we got it, and we gotta be happy. And then you get rid of Muppets for a coaster, a coaster that you thought about 15 years ago, but all of a sudden now you think it's a good idea to put it in. That day in August, I haven't been on with the show since then.
Yeah.
That August night when the news dropped that they were putting in Monsters, because that day there was rumors that Disney's thinking about replacing Muppets with something. And I was like, no. And then they were like, it could be Monsters Inc. I'm like, no. And then they announced Monsters Inc. Coaster coming. I was like, where is it going? And that was like late at night, that Saturday night.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep that night.
Yeah.
And it was just a waiting game, and then waiting until they finally confirmed it.
Turnabout is fair play for you, Adam. Now you're waiting.
Right. All this waiting, Adam, that you have to
It's
do.
true.
I think there's some debate that could be had, and I don't know. I mean, nobody's driven over there in a while, but the Galactic Star Cruiser is still in play for expansion stuff, I think. So I think that's something to consider about what we see. I think that whole area back there is something that could happen in the future.
Well, there's a road in between it.
Yeah.
There's the service road, so
right.
they'd have to, like, They're
You'd
not
have to
going to
get
shuttle
creative.
guests back and forth with a box truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not very,
No.
No, they
guest
have to get
efficient.
creative. They'll need a
I mean,
bridge.
that's what they should do. What they should do with that space is you could book a restaurant reservation, and
Mhm.
it's like Hoop-de-Doo, where it's like an hour and a half block or whatever,
Exactly.
and you get your time and you do it, and yeah, it's like $120, but you get to shop in the shop thing, you get to drink in the lounge, and then you get to eat the dinner in the dinner show. Like, that's what they could do that, and people would pay for that. People
Yeah.
would pay $120 for that. They would do that. And instead, they're like, nah, we're just going to put offices in there. Okay. Like,
No, and
it
Troy's in
is.
the chat. Yeah, mentioning the office building. Yeah, I mean, I think they're not gonna do anything with the hotel rooms ever again. But I
Yeah.
think there's other space that they need to utilize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And the hotel rooms were too small for what they were.
Mhm.
Now here I'm going on another stupid rant about this stupid thing. The hotel rooms were way too small for the amount of money you were spending.
Mhm.
And like, I just imagining like an affluent parent who did this because their kid likes it, and they spent all that money, and they show up and are like, spending like $5,000 on this. Like, are you
Mhm.
kidding me? You know? And then they got people walking around with headpieces on and painted faces like adults and everything, and they're like, this is nuts. And they're not going to come back. Like, you're not going to get their money back, because you didn't give them a reason to, because you didn't really give them anything for their value, for those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
The people that wanted to be there, that dressed up, they got the value. But there's only so many of those people. You got to get the people that aren't into that. You got to get them to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not going to come back if the room has a cloth shower curtain, not a glass, no double sinks. There's no chair to sit on when you get dressed. No chair. You got a little ottoman thing on the ground. Like how do you like one bed and then very small bunk beds?
Mm-hmm.
See, we started Adam with the Muppets, and now he's ranting about everything.
Now it's off and running.
Ranting about everything.
All right, before we go, Adam, in November we're having a meetup. Are you going to come to the meetup this year? What do we think?
In November?
In November.
What weekend in November?
The 9th-ish? I don't know. We
Is
don't
that
even
the
know what
race
it is
weekend?
today. What do you mean? Did you say race weekend?
Is it the Wine and Dine race weekend?
the
Because I
weekend.
might be
No.
there for that weekend.
No, the weekend after.
And just extend your trip. It's like what did we say? The 8th-ish, or did we say the 12th?
This is why we need our personal meetup, so that I at least
Adam,
make an effort to see you guys here.
But everybody wants to see you, Adam.
I don't.
But
They just
Lewis
want to
said,
hear me
please don't
complain.
bring your smoke alarm.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna
keep the smoke alarm right home.
You know, if anybody's looking for a gift for me this year, a 9-volt battery would be nice.
Lexi's probably already sent it to you, because I don't know if you saw, but we hit 100 chirps a little bit ago, so that was exciting.
Is it really 100? So is it every 30 seconds, Lexi? Is that correct?
So tangent, while we're looking up the dates, when I lived in Orlando, all our apartments had like vaulted ceilings. So I lived in this complex called Pine Harbor, and you can all look it up. It's still there. But the vaulted ceilings, the smoke alarm was like at the highest point of this vaulted ceiling, and so it starts chirping at like 3:00 in the morning, like they do. And my roommate is not home. And so I'm like, what am I going to do about this? So I was like, no, I have to sleep. So I get a broom handle, and I hit the smoke alarm off the side, like I Phoebe buffet it basically. And I hit the smoke alarm off the wall of the vaulted ceiling, and I like disable it. And of course, then the next day I like got to call the super, and I'm saying, I need a replacement on the smoke alarm battery, because it's chirping. And then of course, when they get there, when I'm at work, they're like, you can't knock it off the ceiling. That's like you get fined for that. I'm like, I'm not sleeping all night with the chirp going off. So what am I supposed to do?
You should have called me, because you get used to it after a while.
Adam, you just get used to it over time, like the Long Island Railroad going through your backyard.
Okay.
Is there anything about Epic you guys wanted to know about that I didn't get to talk about?
You're fine. We got everything.
Adam,
you got
inside baseball.
Probably.
Before we started doing the actual episode, you were like, "This is a nostalgia podcast. Why are we talking about something new?"
Well, yeah, but I was also honored that you guys want to talk to me about Epic, which
Adam,
is
we want to talk to you about everything always.
Gosh.
So
It's the
Yeah.
weekend of November 7th. So like, maybe a couple days before, a couple days after,
Okay.
in that realm.
Adam, make it happen. We're giving you plenty of advance notice.
Well, that's true. You certainly are doing.
It's just like Dr. J, who's probably listening. She'll be there too, right? She
Yeah.
just yelled. I just heard her yell. Like I could hear her from here saying, "No, I'm not doing that."
No. My IP is on this. So that's November. But Adam, you're gonna see Muppets one more time before June.
Yes,
or whatever.
7th. June 7th is
June
the
7th.
last day of.
Are you going on the last day?
I am supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to be very
How many
emotional.
people will I know in that theater? I already know some people who said they're just going to loop it all day.
Yeah,
So.
I'm going to see it, and then I'll eat pizza Rizzo, and then I will see it again, and then it's going to be emotional for sure.
Yeah.
I priced out those 3 days because of the deals going on, and the kid is off for a couple of days before. And so I was just like, I just want to know how much it is. So I reached out to Vasilia at EP Family Travel and gave me the numbers. I was like, no, I didn't want to know these numbers. No.
I got to get a hotel room. I haven't done that yet. I don't even think I booked a flight.
Check the flights.
I think I'm going to stay on site for that, though, because like you get extra magic hour or whatever.
See
Adam,
that?
don't forget to bring your smoke alarm for Lewis on June 7th. You don't have to bring it to the meetup in November.
Okay.
Adam, who in the resort have you met before me? Besides Frank? Theme Park Rob?
Yes, I met Theme Park Rob, and I met Dr. Jacqueline. And
Maz.
Yeah.
Obviously.
All right, Adam, we're just going to pick a day, and we're going to go into the city. Let's just do it. We'll just meet there.
Is there anything anybody in the chat wanted to know about Epic?
Does anyone have a question for Adam?
Does anybody have any questions?
We'll wait.
The real before we go.
The final before we go.
I will say this though, I'd rather have a nice longer time with you guys than being rushed, because I gotta go to work and such.
Why don't we plan a dinner? I can go out at night. I just like an early bedtime. That's all. That's just a personal preference.
No, and I said I'm willing to go out there to you guys. I said that.
And I was at Jelly Rolls till 1 a.m. So I can be flexible with my bedtime.
Here's some questions. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Adam, how long before tourists get Epcot and Epic mixed up?
Right away, because I was getting mixed up myself.
Good question.
Immediately.
How do you get to the Epic? You're in Spaceship Earth, ma'am. Thank you.
People in Epcot would ask me, "How do you get to Walt Disney World? You're here." Go ahead.
Adam, want to come out to Long Island and watch Frank be a chicken on a zip line? Is that happening this spring? I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I could do that. I don't know what any of that means.
Go on a zip line with me, Adam. Is the question.
Oh, what is it over?
I think it's
over crocodiles. No,
it's like a wooded area, right? Lexi, you can follow up.
I mean, if they got a helmet and such, I could do that.
All right, now we just upped this game. If me and Adam,
man,
zip lining together on Long Island,
that would be amazing.
I think I've zip lined before.
All right.
I don't remember.
Riot asks, is Adam's company working on any upcoming projects in Orlando theme parks?
So you guys want some inside information?
Yeah.
Epic Universe project was so big as a construction project, not just for my company, just in general, in Orlando, that every available construction worker in Central Florida was working there. Every rental machine, every crane was there. So Disney, even if they wanted to build anything, they couldn't, because there was no manpower and there was no machines to do it. Universal had picked everything up because they had to, because they're building the whole park. So that's part of the reason why Disney really couldn't build anything after Tron, was because there wasn't any they just couldn't. They had put bids out for things, but you have to wait for that to be done with. So now that that's over, the construction part at least, that's why Disney would like to start doing stuff now. Now maybe things change because of the economy. I don't know, but any bids coming up now? Like I said, I've seen the bids for Encanto, the ride, and we were bidding on the hotel Reflections in 2020, and then it got canceled, and then and now it is back on again, and we did not get that job, but we did bid on it, and that was going to be a big job for us. But that was the same job now as it was when they first put it out. Nothing changed between then.
As the accountant, are you the guy to yay or nay projects?
No, I'm not that. No.
A little bit? Will you go? That's too pricey. We're not doing that.
No. I it's not my job to do that. It's our we have estimators that estimate these jobs, and they figure out if it's something that we could feasibly do or not.
Right.
I know about it until like after the fact.
All right. You see those Polynesian steps though? You nay that. I don't care if you don't normally. You do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
That's like it's this or I'm out of here.
Right.
Last question, Adam. Do you think you're secretly related to us?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
He's always thought that. I agree.
Yeah. From the boat somewhere, they got separated off the boat. Ellis Island, the names got changed.
Yeah. Sure.
How about Mama Melrose's chicken parm being different than everything else we ever had?
Yeah, no, I think, and that's why I liked you guys, because you guys are very much like me.
We're like family.
And you guys don't like the change, and I hate change. And we like our certain things, and we're just from the other side of the island. That's all. You're on that's the right side. I'm on the left side. So of Manhattan, of the island.
Yeah, I get
sure. Right, just to be clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lexi also followed up saying you zipline amongst the trees with helmets and harnesses.
Yeah, I could do that. That's fine.
All right. Well, we'll do some legwork on that to see if we can get that together.
Yeah.
Adam, please provide where everyone can find you, and mostly on the X, where you are posting many times a day.
Making me laugh always.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what not to name drop, but that's what Scott Gustin said about me. He's like, Adam's really good at sarcastic remarks. I'm like, yes, thank you. That's what I'm going for here.
Did he tell you that at Epic?
Yes, he did. When I saw him, that's what he said.
Look at you, Adam.
I didn't get to meet Seth Kapersky, who you guys have talked to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's from the next town over from me.
All right.
I wanted to meet him because he's been all the places I've been to.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to see him.
Next time.
I'm on Twitter at the Mouse and Ward, and that's it.
That's it. Also on the IG? Are you on the IG?
Yeah, but I only follow people that I have I actually talk to.
Like a little personal account?
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Adam, please send your availability to Jen over the next couple of months so we can find some time to zip line.
Quarter two. We're on the
quarter two. Yeah, well, we're already in Q2, so we have to budget now. Now we have to budget for Q2.
I feel like I'm in Back to the Future. We're already in May 10th or whatever day is.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that cool? May 8th. Sorry.
It's May 8th.
That's crazy.
Thursday, May 8th here.
April went by so fast.
It did. Mm-hmm.
All right, Adam. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat us up here. And I feel like the beeps, I think I got used to it too.
I got used to it over time.
And so we'll see how many Jen can edit out of the podcast. She's got 1 month.
Yeah.
You got a minute and a half. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
The Dillo's Diz podcast is hosted by Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo-Snyder. Music produced by Matt Harvey. Logos and video production courtesy of Snidillo Studios. Dillo's Diz Resort is our Patreon with tiers starting as low as $1 per month. You can visit dillosdizresort.com to learn more. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X Twitter, and Facebook at Dillo's Diz. Check us out on YouTube by visiting youtube.com/DillosDiz. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you're there. We also have merch available on TeePublic and Etsy. For all this and more, visit our one-stop shop, DillosDiz.com. Dillo's Diz Podcast 2025.